Alright, I need y'all to let me know if I'm overthinking this, or if this is genuinely a phenomenon, because I was revisiting some childhood films the other day, just enjoying the vibes, feeling nostalgic per usual, nurturing my inner child, and then it struck to me, why? Why do characters of color constantly transform into animals? I began to ponder it. And all of a sudden, I couldn't help but see it everywhere. And now I'm somewhat frustrated. How is it that we all grew up witnessing this, yet no one ever mentioned a word? Now let's dive into the weird pattern Disney doesn't talk about. I noticed a pattern in Disney movies and I can't unsee it. Animation is done with intention. A lot of times we mitigate animation because it's not real and fake and all of that stuff, but it still holds weight and it's important.
What is a trope in media that...
Oh, the majority of time when people of color are in animated movies, they turn into an animal. Call it the Cusco effect. But it happened here, and don't forget here. This one definitely made me the angriest. But yeah, it just continues to happen. And before you try to get in my comments and argue, know that this is half a POC representation, and it is literally dehumanizing.
We need more black animation where the black person in the film is not turning into an animal or into a soul. Literally, this has happened so much in recent time. I love representation, but when the black character is being turned into something else that's not a human, honestly, Soul should just focus on black jazz. Why do they have to go into this specific concept? I have no idea. Princess the Frog, I'm just saying they should have kept her as a human for most of the movie, because barely did they have her in human form. Literally, it was either showing other characters or her as a frog. Spies in Disguise could have just been a black spy film. Why they changed Will Smith into a pigeon makes no sense.
Christ's love isn't like everybody else's love. It's not like the world's love. The world's love loves you when you do things right or when you do things with them. But as soon as you make a mistake, they take that love away. But what I've experienced with the love of Christ is that it loves first. It loves through wrongdoing. It loves when you shouldn't be loved anymore. It's unconditional. And that's the love that I believe is going to change the world and has changed me.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Micaiah. I'm back and I'm black and I'm back and I'm black and I'm back and I'm black and I'm back and I'm black.
Yo, Sasha here. Excuse me? Supermodels do not fly business class. Now, I'm not gonna demand a private jet, but I think Jag could at least spring for first class.
And today I am bringing you all another video with the fro, okay? With the fro. But before I dive into it, happy Black History Month.
It's February, it's Black History Month. What does that mean to you guys?
Excuse me?
Black History Month?
We need a longer month.
Today, I will be discussing an interesting pattern that I've seen constantly within the Disney franchise that I didn't notice until I got older. I feel like when we're younger, a lot of times we don't really notice things, but if you realize with a lot of characters of color, specifically mainly black individuals, there tends to always be a switch when it comes to their animation where majority of the film, they're not themselves, whether they're a spirit as in Soul, or whether they're a cat as it was in Soul, or whether they're a frog as Princess Tiana, as I've discussed on this channel before, or Cusco, who was a llama. And it's just like, it's a constant pattern of individuals not being themselves within animation. And it's not a coincidence, and it's something that I want to unpack and unwind, because a lot of people would try to say this is not that deep, but I do think it is. And I think animation is just as important as live action stuff. And I just want to dive into that. But before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to see more of me. And if you're new, hey, and if you're a returner, I really truly appreciate the love. I'm thankful for the growth on this channel, and I'm so thankful to the Lord. So I just pray that we continue to grow, and I would love if you would want to join the fam. And for all who are new, you should know I do an array of topics. I'm extremely diverse. I do nerdy topics, nostalgic topics, and more conscious topics. And I dibble and dabble with them vlogs. So we do a little bit of everything around here. So there's most definitely a place for you. And if you get the chance, please check out my social media platforms down within the description box, where I display my passion for fashion along with other interests that I have. So let's get back into the video. Listen closely. Princess Tiana transformed into a frog for 80% of her story. Cusco turned into a llama. Soul, Joe Gardner, a spirit/cat for the majority of the film. And that's just what comes to mind first. Seriously, why do we finally have a lead character of color and then just moments later, they're not even human anymore? Let's begin with Princess Tiana, the first Black animated Disney princess. A historic moment, enormous. Little Black girls everywhere finally had the chance to see themselves as royalty. And what do we get? She transforms into a frog for most of the film. Not just the ending, not even a single scene for the majority of the runtime. She's green. Meanwhile, every other princess, human the entire time, radiant, dressed to the nines, hair flowing, romance abounds. But Tiana, hopping through the bayou, like why couldn't we witness her fully embodying her role as a Black princess throughout the entire film? Then there's Cusco. Yes, Emperor's New Groove is absolutely hilarious, iconic, one of my favorite Disney series, but still one of Disney's rare brown indigenous coded protagonists transform into a llama, once more an animal, once more dehumanized, once more the bulk of the film spent not viewing him as his true self. And let's not even begin to discuss Soul. That one truly struck a chord. Pixar has finally introduced a Black male protagonist, a jazz musician, a breathtaking Black story, culture, music, barbershop, community. I'm like, yes, representation at its finest. And then boom, for most of the film, he transforms into a blue soul blob. And when he's on Earth, he's stuck in a cat's body, a cat. Can this man not be human for just 5 minutes? And this is where things start to feel uneasy, because once can be seen as a fluke, twice that's just a coincidence, but repeatedly that reveals a pattern, and this pattern indicates when characters of color take lead, they frequently end up being depicted as something other than human. Animals, creatures, objects, spirits, anything but simply themselves. And historically speaking, dehumanization has always been linked to racism. So even if it's not done on purpose, it still feels off. It still conveys a message. Representation goes beyond mere inclusion. It's about truly being seen in your entirety, your skin tone, your unique features, your hair texture, your facial expressions. Children should have the opportunity to see a character that resembles them and remain true to that appearance. Picture finally receiving your first princess, only to find she's a frog throughout the story. Envision finally having your first Black lead in a Pixar film, and he turns out to be a spirit cat hybrid. It feels as though we are permitted to exist, but only for a fleeting moment. That's what makes it hurt. I understand from a writer's perspective, transformations are entertaining, they're humorous, they're enchanting, profitable, but why do these changes consistently occur to characters of color? Why can't they simply exist as humans while still embarking on adventures? Why does their humanity seem like an afterthought? That transcends being a mere plot twist. That's about perception, and perception is important. I have to ask, did any of you notice this while growing up? Or did it only dawn on you later, like it did for me? Can you think of other films that do this? Because the list is surprisingly longer than we realize. And Disney, moving forward, please let people of color remain human. So I just want to know you all's thoughts on this and your perspective, because as I stated, I don't believe this is a coincidence. I believe when things happen, there's intention. Animation is done with intention, as I've been stating on this channel. A lot of times we mitigate animation because it's not real and fake and all of that stuff, but it still holds weight and it's important. And I love animation, so this is an aspect that I wanted to dive into on my channel. But regardless of what side of your perspective you fall on, please let's make sure we're respectful down in the comment section. That's what we're owed as human beings. And I want you all to remember that you are loved by the God who created the universe. He made you for such a special purpose, so let your light shine bright and don't allow anyone to dim that. So I'll check you all out in the next video. Stay blessed, everyone.